Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, November 5th. We are going live here in Phoenix. It's been a kind of a boring week. There's probably not a lot going on, not much to talk about. Well, we'll figure out something fun, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about moving or relocating and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, so let's go ahead and bring our good friend and partner, Rudy Lopez with Prime Lending. Rudy, good morning.
Greg, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. You're right. There's no news to talk about. Nothing going on the news when you turn it on. Yeah, pretty calm.
Pretty boring. I mean, I have tried to keep the news off most of the time anyway, so I don't really even know what's going on. But you get little pings here and there, and people hitting you up from out of state and asking you what's going on. So you're like, good question. But I know this. This is what I'm good at. I'm good at complaining about the weather. And today it's going to be 97 degrees in Phoenix, and that's it's November 5th, Rudy, and it's 97 today.
Yeah, can 2020 get any worse, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I guess the good news is on Saturday it goes down to like the low 70s, and then it goes into the 60s. So, hey, it's one day. The rest of the week has been all right. It's been kind of in the low 90s all week. But this 97-degree day, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it hit 100 just for the sun to give us the middle finger. But, who knows? But so that's my first complaint of the day, so I apologize for that. But I figured I'd bring it up for anybody who's thinking about what's the weather like in Phoenix in November.
Well, one of my complaints yesterday, right outside of our office, there's a restaurant that I frequent for lunch or just to grab a quick bite if it gets busy. And I just found out yesterday that they shut down permanently. So I'm heartbroken. I really am. Yes.
Which spot?
Charleston's. It's right off North Scottsdale here in Frank Lloyd Wright, and it's literally a 30-second walk. So it was super convenient. The food's good, and unfortunately, like a lot of businesses in the country, they just couldn't survive what's going on. So,
it's been it's been a bummer. I mean, you hope that you get some new blood coming in and people that can take advantage of maybe some bad news for somebody, maybe lead for good news for somebody else. You never know, but hopefully that'll be the case. I hope it just doesn't turn into a situation where stuff goes vacant and then just sits there vacant for a while too. I feel like with the amount, we still feel like we're in a pretty good environment in a lot of ways too. So, and there's still a lot of people coming in. So I feel like it'll probably turn over quickly. Just got to get the right person in there, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then, luckily or unluckily, depending on how you look at it, there's a lot of space available now. So due to reasons like this, there's more and more space becoming available. So if businesses are looking to maybe capitalize on that and expand or look into moving into a certain area, there's a high probability that there's some space that you can rent out at a pretty reasonable price. So I guess that's the silver lining in all of this. Yeah, no, for sure. Just a quick note, and I just noticed this right now because my little eCam system that I use for these live calls, I have no box to show if I got comments popping up. So if anybody starts sending in comments, I can't see them today, which I'll figure it out. I'll fix it at some point. It might not be today on this call, but I apologize. So if anybody tries to say hello or ask a question today, so I'm going to take this off because now I can't see anybody if they even have a question, but all good. I wanted to bring up one thing. So
for anybody who's been watching us just a little bit here, and like Rudy and I just met. What was it, Rudy? Maybe was it April, March?
Yes.
It was like just after.
Yeah, it was actually right before or right after lockdown, like when it officially. But yeah, March, April, maybe May, but it was probably closer to April.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think, because I think, and we met in person, and we're still wearing masks and stuff like that. Like but the reason I bring it up is I think I started this channel, like it kind of had its first video post in May. I was reaching out. I have a ton of lenders who I work with within the area, but I wanted to find somebody who I thought had the same vision, and so. A good friend of both of ours, Addie Net, who's actually an amazing lender up in the Portland area, he connected us, and we started doing these live calls. I don't even know when we started doing the live calls. It probably was not until June or so. Started doing these, working together, and it's been an awesome partnership for me. I appreciate Rudy joining me on this venture, and but we had our first closing of a client who called us, got on a Zoom call with us, came out, met with us, went through the process, and they just closed last Friday, and we're excited for them, number one, because I know they're excited to be out there or here, and they haven't moved yet. I think it's they're keeping their information a little bit on the down low because they haven't told everybody they're moving, but we want to say congrats to them. We're going to leave the names off for now, and say thank you. Guys know who you are. We appreciate you guys, and I think they will become good friends of ours as well. So it's been a fun process. But so Rudy, thank you because you were a huge part of it. I'll let you jump.
No, absolutely, and I'll second that, Greg. I feel like they're going to become very long-standing friends of ours, and it's just so fun because I recently moved here too, so just to be able to kind of share my experience on moving here and the stresses, but the excitements that come along with all that stuff, and being able to share that with someone, and you obviously being the consummate professional and being able to provide as much value and guidance as possible on relocating, that was just an added plus. But yeah, it was just so much fun, and I'm just looking forward to so many more opportunities like this with you and everyone else that's watching.
Yeah, no, and it's been a lot of fun. I think what the best part about this channel doing this is meeting people who kind of share the same values you do, and like when people are reaching out to us, and we've got so many people who are reaching out, asking questions, trying to determine what's a good fit for them. What makes sense, that type of thing. And, it's just nice to have the ability to kind of build a little relationship through the channel, and then hopefully build a little bit of trust and a little bit of guidance on where we're hoping to guide you in the right direction, and then kind of build a relationship off of that. So it's been great. And I feel like from everybody's point of view, it works out very positively. So, for anybody who's looking at it, or for thinking about calling and isn't 100% sure if it's the right, makes sense or not. I mean, we're so low pressure, casual, and we'll have fun with you. I mean, that's the goal. We'll try to guide you the best we can, point you in the right direction, and if it makes sense for you to come out here, then we'll try to do our best.
Yeah, and we're 100% transparent and upfront if there's challenges, or if there's a couple things that you should consider. Greg and I love what we do, so we want to make sure that you guys are happy, because whether you already live here and you just want to buy and move to another location, or you're relocating from another state, you really need to put your trust in the team that you're working with, and that's why we take it so seriously, because it's a huge decision. A lot of the people that we talk to, Greg, on our Zoom calls they don't live here in Arizona. They're looking to relocate. So we take that very seriously, and we know how stressful that is. So, just keep that in mind, that working with the right team that has your best interests at heart is just huge. And it's
a team effort on everybody's behalf too. I mean, everybody plays a key role. And it doesn't happen without everybody everybody working together properly. So for anybody who is on the fence and hasn't thought about it, just give us a shout. We'll see what we can do. So obviously it's the week of the election. It's been crazy. Rudy and I tend to stay away from political stuff just because you guys see it from too many other people, and most people get sick of it. I know we get sick of it ourselves. I think I can speak on Rudy's behalf when I say that. It's just a mess everywhere when it comes to that. But on the same note, for anybody who's looking to move here, I feel like it's part of our obligation to kind of tell you, what's going on. Like how is what happened this week potentially going to affect anybody's move to Arizona. So I figured we'd touch base on it a little bit. We won't jump into too much opinion-based stuff because honestly, I could care less half the time anyway. But let me bring up kind of what's happening. So just where we're at. So everybody knows probably, I don't know, some people like us probably don't. And I was just looking at this maybe 10 minutes before. I still haven't figured out if they've called Arizona for Biden or if they're like, hey, we're still waiting on votes to come in. When I see, let me go to this one.
They're still waiting, Greg. I think at 7:00 local time here, there's going to be an announcement from Maricopa County, just an update on the on the votes tonight. Yeah. So last night there was an announcement around the same time, and then around 11 midnight, some more votes came in that they started counting, and it's my understanding that vote dump is what they're calling it, is going to be then announced around 7:00 here local time to give everyone an update. But initially they did call it for Biden pretty early on, and then there was a bit of an uproar from the Trump camp. So understandably so, obviously a lot of people were just trying to figure out exactly why it was called so early. And now they've actually, I don't know if it's official, but they've rescinded calling it for Biden, and now it's still on the fence.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this I guess shows the most, depending on where your point of view is, the most accurate count as of now. So it looks like they're about 68,000 apart. That can be made up quickly. We had Mark Kelly beat out McSally. In the other, I mean, most of this stuff I could care less about, but I think the stuff that's interesting for people maybe looking to move here are the propositions. So Proposition 207, that is the one basically legalizing
recreational
marijuana. Yep. And I know Rudy told me offline that he was super excited about that. So that's just kidding, Rudy. We have not had the conversation at all, but I've actually, I've always thought it was probably the smart move to go in this direction at some point, as long as the tax revenue is spent in the right way, and as long as they have set it up in a safe way, as best they can. It's never going to be perfect. I'm sure there's people that are like, hey, it's going to cause certain bad things to happen, I'm sure. But there's already bad things happening with it being illegal. So I'm hoping this is a positive. The other one, and I didn't even realize they hadn't called this the Proposition 208. And this was an interesting one too. Again, I won't go too much into opinion type stuff here, but I'm a huge fan of trying to put more money into our education system. I think Arizona is well known to be a little bit behind when it comes to taking care of teachers and really putting in the efforts to have a really strong education system and the K through 12s. This one seemed to be like it might be misleading. I don't if you want to chime in or not, Rudy. I just felt like it might not be written correctly for really taking care of what we need when it comes to investing in education, and it also potentially hurts small business owners and people moving in who have small businesses. So that was something that I was concerned about on that one.
What I understand from Prop 208 is there's a 3.5% tax increase on individuals. I believe making greater than $250,000, and I could be wrong on that exact dollar amount, but I know that the higher income individuals and businesses are going to be taxed at a 3.5% higher rate, and the revenues from that tax is, like you said, supposed to go to our school systems. I believe 50% of the revenues are supposed to go to teacher salaries, and the remaining 50 is supposed to be allocated towards other means. But yeah, that's as far as I know about Prop 208.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I think we're probably in the same boat. Like, I don't like I try to do as much research as I can and try to make the best decision possible when voting for these. And in the end, it's really hard to know the full ins and outs and like who's putting these things together. You know, who's for. I try to read a lot of who's for, who's against them, and really try to make a subjective decision that's based on, hey, what's going to be for the benefit of the most people. It's a hard one to figure out sometimes, but for anybody who's moving here, I think both of those are very important to know, and we'll kind of see what happens. Prop 207 won in a landslide, I guess you could call it that, versus what everything else is doing. So we'll see what happens on Prop 208. We'll see what happens with the rest of the voting. I think I'll bring us back up here. The other thing that I see this comment a lot, and it bugs me a little bit, and I get it. Like, we get a lot of people talking about a situation of, especially because we do have a lot of people who are moving in from other states, and California is one of those. And a lot of people don't like what's going on in California. A lot of people have problems with how they're running the state, the taxes, everything. I totally agree with that. And I'm from California. I was born there. And I don't think I would ever live there for that reason. But I don't like people painting this huge brush over everybody who's moving from California, saying, hey, that's all just a bunch of liberals coming in here and they're going to ruin our state. I find that to be a little bit, I don't know. I don't appreciate those comments. But yeah, I'll take a second. I'll let you jump in, Rudy.
No, I agree. Painting someone with a broad stroke is not always the best approach. I've met lots of folks from California that are not like that. They are leaving California for the same reason, folks are not moving to California.
Right.
And they're not necessarily bringing any Democratic or left-wing beliefs here. But it's just a matter of just being educated and being informed on policies, not the, I guess, individual that you're voting on, but more the policies, I would just say, because of all the different characters that are running our government now and all the different personalities that are involved. I just think that, being informed on the policies and talking to folks that can help you with that is probably the best approach. But yeah, I agree with you. It's not always like that from folks moving from California.
Yeah, and I just ask people, like, we're in an online environment these days. The reason this channel exists is because, hey, we can put it up on YouTube. We can get a lot of people reaching out, commenting, that type of thing. I totally get it. I just find the online world has become so uncivil, and we're in two different worlds. We go outside, you go talk to your neighbor, you can have a civil conversation, you can have a bunch of civil conversations going about where you're talking to people at restaurants, grocery store, and it seems like most people will be civil to your face, and then you get into this online environment where people turn into the worst people in the world, where they attack constantly, and if somebody doesn't believe what they believe, then it's. I try to stay away from it, but you just see it. We're plugged into it. We have to look at it. And it's disappointing. And I hope when I look at this election, and I look at how close it is, and to me, it's a reflection on we have a ton of people that don't understand the other side, and everybody wants to talk crap about the other, and that's it. I like to stay out of both of that, but because I don't know, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but it is what it is.
One thing I think of, or I consider, is regardless of who wins, we're gonna have to go through it together. Sure. If your political views are different than mine and your candidate wins, I'm going to have to go through, the the good and the bad just as much as you are if
Yeah.
my candidate was to win. So, it's not one of those where like we won and you lost. It's one of those where like we're all going to go through it, good and bad.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes taking away the us versus them mentality is very difficult because the media, unfortunately, fuels a lot of that
100%.
divisiveness. But at the end of the day, no matter who wins, we're all gonna have to suffer or celebrate together.
But you make a good point. I think the more people that realize that the media and this goes for both sides. It's not on your side, and you're being I don't know. Everybody should know this, but I just feel like people are being taken advantage of, and there's not anybody out there that really cares about the middle America or especially lower income family. There's nobody out there on your side right now. It doesn't seem like to me.
Well, speaking of to bring it back to real estate a little bit, our prices here year over year, Phoenix was the highest appreciation or price gain in the entire country year over year. I want to say it was about 10%. Price appreciation in the Phoenix market in the entire country. Number one. Yep. So, one thing that I've been talking to a lot of my clients lately that are either currently renting or that maybe are buying and they're not necessarily sure if they want to go buy something that maybe fits their needs a little bit better is I've been running a cost of waiting analysis to just show you, hey, look, if the house that you're looking at today is, let's just say, $400,000, and you think that maybe there's going to be a real estate market crash in a year, and let's just say it drops down to, I don't know, 375, the interest rate now versus what the interest rate will be in about a year is probably going to be a lot different. So I run a couple of different models for people, and they notice and they realize that the lower interest rate now is actually more advantageous than hoping and praying that maybe they get a better deal on a house later and have to pay a higher interest rate. That's actually worse. That's going to cost you more money.
Yeah, no, it's super important to know. And I think we're all kind of going through that, and you see all this stuff here. And I apologize. I just figured out how to click the comments back on. And Chip, thank you for. I don't know if you're still watching, Chip. But we got some comments from Chip, and I think we probably...
Did we lose Chip?
No, well, I'm just going through the comments right now, and I think he was kind of going through it, and I agree with this. So both sides need to unite, come together, share ideas. 100%, Chip, 100%. We're on board with you. That's why we all like to hang out. We kind of share the same mindset, so appreciate it. But going back to what you were saying, Rudy, as far as like, if people are waiting for the prices to go down, if the prices go down and something happens, that typically means that interest rates could possibly go up. So the amount that it goes down might not be in your best interest either. So, we talk about this a lot. We all wish we had that crystal ball to know what the future looks like. But I think the other point that Rudy was trying to make, when we see the amount of people moving in here, and we know that the migration, we've talked about this before too, we know that there are plenty more people moving here than moving out. Even if there is some sort of shift that causes people to lose their homes, unfortunately, there is the absorption rate that we have right now is huge. So it's unlikely that you're going to see this massive effect where there's not enough absorption to take those properties up, to cause the prices to go down.
Yeah, since I've lived here, the term market crash I've heard probably more than ever before, and as it relates to the real estate market, and simply because obviously Phoenix, Arizona, Nevada, we were hit very hard here when the real estate market crashed back in 08, 09, and 10. So I lived in Houston at the time, and the oil and gas industry kind of helped prop the economy a little bit better. I mean, it still took a little bit of a hit, but not quite as hard as it did here. So I just wasn't quite as privy to the impact that it made because I didn't live through it in Houston. But when I moved here, that seems to be something that's still engraved in a lot of people's minds, and I have that I have that question a lot. I get that question a lot, whether or not to buy now or to maybe look for a deal down the road in case the market crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you, and Chip's on the same boat as well. Demand's probably not going anywhere. I mean, look, there's a million things to get. We're obviously we're still in this pandemic, even though, who knows what's going to happen. Like you get news on it and you hear everybody's opinion. Again, it's the same thing with anything. You just don't know exactly how it's going to affect us moving forward. So it's just hard to say. But based on everything we have going on right now, I know that my calls and showings and stuff that we have going on with listings right now, we're getting just as much traffic this week as we had any other time. It hasn't been like, hey, it's November. I know we tend to see a downturn when it comes to buyer traffic, just going into the holidays on a typical year without any of this other stuff going on. And right now I'm not seeing that happening. So,
and
who knows?
And definitely not political at all. But I wonder if the election, because you wouldn't believe how many people I've talked to that live all across the country. They're like, I'm moving from this state to that state, or I'm happy that I live here. So I'm wondering if any of that stuff is going to cause even more migration and adjust the migration numbers here in the future. It's just much going on. Much going on.
Yeah, people will move somewhere. I'm not one of those. I saw, and there's a couple friends of mine who did this, but I just think it's cheesy. Like all the people are like, hey, no matter who wins the election, if you want to move out of the country, I'm here to list your house. Like,
did you post one too?
No, I will never post that. I don't even post that I'm an agent on my, like, I don't post to Facebook anymore or Twitter or Instagram. Like, I don't use that stuff. This is my go-to. I like YouTube. I like because this is where people can get to know you the best. Right. Like otherwise, like all that stuff, like putting a picture out that you're an agent and being like, hey, if you're interested in buying I hate that stuff. Like this has been the best thing for me ever because I'm like the biggest anti-realtor there is. So, I like this and I feel like, it allows to get personalities out a little bit more. So who knows?
Yeah, it really does. And it is reflective on the people that we work with, the clients who reach out to us, the people that we get along with, and the people that we ultimately end up working with. And it's cool. It's cool to be able to work with like-minded people that share the same interests and beliefs as you.
Yeah, no, I love it. What else? Anything? I feel bad because I know we talked about this before we jumped on the call. It's like, I don't know whether to bring up the election stuff or not, just because, it brings up a lot of emotions for a lot of us here. And, and everybody gets too many opinions as is. So maybe I dove into it a little bit too much, but anything that you can think of on a positive note going into the weekend that we can share with people, just as a fun thing. I'm trying to think of anything coming up. I thought we had a really good Halloween. We obviously we're only going to be a few weeks from Thanksgiving. Hopefully people can get together and still be safe, but all still get together as family and friends and not have to have too many negative things going on with COVID and all that stuff. But anything you can think of on the positive side?
No, I think you hit it on the head with, a good Halloween and I just think of finishing out the year strong with as much of a positive attitude as possible, and really at the end of the day understanding that my own little world have zero control over what happens outside these doors. All I can control is the way I handle it and the way I approach my day. So that mentality really wasn't, I didn't have that mentality a few months ago because I kind of was consumed by the news and all the stuff going on in the country, and I just finally had to take a step back and realize that it has no bearing on my success or my failure or what happens with me. It all starts with me and what I project to my family. So that was I don't know. That's probably my own little positive nugget of the day.
I love it. Those Tony Robbins videos have been helpful, and
yeah, thanks for sending them over.
I'll have to watch them again myself, and maybe I need a refresher course. But no, I'll get. I know. Look, I think you and I are in the same boat too. It's like when you have when you have a lot of stuff going on work wise, and then you have your kids at home, and your kids become number one, and that's what you focus on, and it kind of turns your focus right away. Like so you don't need anybody else in your ear telling you how to be better in your life, because it just clicks. And so yeah, I hear you 100%. Yep, Chip, appreciate. Yep. Holiday season, family time. Yep, love that. Comment from Vince. Vince, what's going on, man? Arriving a little late. No worries, man. All good. Like, happy to have you jump in and join the conversation a little bit, and glad to hear you had some time to come out and take a look at some of the neighborhoods. So, not sure when you're going to be out looking again, or when. I think you guys are going to be trying to do something here in the early part of next year. So just keep us posted on how we can help. Well, Rudy, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I think we covered enough stuff for today, and we'll come back next week and see what happens, and get back on more of our normal train. I don't think we probably won't even know who the election results will be for like another, I don't know, 30, 60 days by all the recounts and all the lawyers involved. So yeah, who knows? We'll talk about that once it actually is over.
Yeah, when you guys start getting lawyers involved, you're definitely going to be dragging stuff out. So yeah, we'll see next week when we hop back on this call how much has transpired since today.
Yeah, probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
But all good. It is what it is. Like you said, it's like don't worry about that stuff. Just focus on what you can control, and sometimes it's fun to talk about. But
for sure.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Chip, always good to have you on and hang out with us and add some comments. Vince, appreciate you jumping on here as well. We will catch you guys next week. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch you later.